Psychologically, first thing we have to remember is we are at war. Now, this is a thing that I have to always highlight for the people. Just because things look calm in your apartment, your house, on your block, just because everything feels good for the moment does not mean that there is not an active war going on right now. The war of information is the biggest as of right now. Billions of dollars are poured into psychologists in the Department of Defense, the Department of Education, all of these departments. The primary area is psychologists who they use to map out patterns, study those patterns, remove what didn't work, keep adding on what did work, wash, rinse, and repeat, and continue to do that to indoctrinate the masses over and over again. So what they're looking at is, if we use fear, one, we know that chemically has certain chemicals that mix from the brain into the rest of the body. If you get a person to be afraid, you can hypnotize them, you can install command phrases, and essentially it's actually what the CIA does, something called PDH, pain drug hypnosis, where they physically induce pain, they drug you, then they hypnotize you. Okay, so you need all those ingredients. They studied this, they did it with Adolf Hitler. Back then they did it with the US military. They are very good at hypnotizing the people. So they studied that and they said, well, if we have the access to the minds of the people, we use certain colors, we use certain tones, music, etc., and we inject ideas. So they're using these phones, which we all now have, and they're injecting these ideas. You're gonna die, you're gonna die. Don't you want to see your parents? Don't you want to be around your grandparents? Don't you want to see your children live? Come on now, what's wrong with you? I mean, you got to do this. Come on now, be a hero, be a hero. And they keep doing that, and as you said, it then becomes self-perpetuating. What I noticed is Joseph Goebbels, who was the senior propagandist under Adolf Hitler, he said, quote, "If you tell a lie big enough, long enough, and make it perpetual, people will come to believe it," end quote. It became something known as the big lie. So the US government continues to say, safe and effective, safe and effective. COVID killed this many people. This virus is coming. Get prepared for this long winter. You got to get your shots. You got to get your shot. And they keep repeating it, repeating, because repetition, one, is the first law of learning, but two, repetition is also a command installment mechanism. You got to keep repeating whatever it is. And so the people, if they are weak mentally, they're going to succumb to it. The mind is very weak after a while. And the people are becoming victims of being weak-minded. They don't read, they don't study, they do not exercise mental calisthenics, even though we do physical. So they have to get into that position where they have to realize, I have to sharpen this and build the mental muscle in order for me to fight this enemy. So that's why, again, they use fear, because it's very effective. As Minister Farrakhan and our brother Nuri and many others have said, fear is an acronym which stands for false evidence appearing real. So they make you believe that if you do not do this, this will be the negative outcome, when in reality, 9 times out of 10, it's the total opposite.